Welcome back to The Wasteland with the We Needy Roads spoiler special on Season 2 of Fallout by Jonathan Nolan and Lisa Joy. I'm your host, Neil, and I'm CEO of WNRCO, the leading post-apocalyptic podcast and, well, only surviving entertainment podcast after the bombs dropped. Yes, there are only Cooper Howard movies to watch now. And wandering bleary-eyed out of her own heated bunker for the first time this year, it's our very own Volty, Marie. Marie, I'd ask you what you've been up to, but we all know.
Yeah, I just gotten really into hockey recently. It's my new favorite sport.
I was actually watching that recently for the Olympics. And I was like, I've never been interested before, but it's actually really good.
Oh, dear Luke.
So it's taken me as well, to be honest. Oh, are we not talking about that sort of hockey?
Unfortunately not.
Oh, I'm so innocent. I'm basically Lucy from in the Wasteland. I'm just innocent, you know. I'm a Voltaire. I don't know how the world works.
And we have our very own non-feral ghoul, David, who is wandering around the Wasteland with his dog, looking for his family because his wife listened to his intro on the last episode.
What, the no help one? The send help one? What did I say bad in that one?
Oh, you'll just have to go back and rewatch it, David.
It's a good thing she doesn't listen, isn't it?
Really
She will now.
Yeah.
And finally, if we can drag him away from his holy books and scriptures long enough, it's also from the Brotherhood of Steel. We have High Cleric Luke, but dressed as a Volty today.
I know. I'm in disguise today. Yeah, the Brotherhood of Steel are not doing as good as we'd hoped. A bit evil.
It's just a smidge evil. So strap on your pit, boys, and let's get ready to head into the Wasteland for our Fallout Season 2 spoiler special. Luke, short, non-spoiler thoughts on Fallout Season 2.
I loved it. I think it was a big improvement over Season 1. And obviously being somebody who is a big fan of the video games, who's played them all the DLC, this show is made for me, made for the fans. I can sit there and go, oh my God, I know that place. I've been there. I've been to Novak. I've been to Prim. I've met that guy. I've met that, you know. So it's like, for me, it's like, you know, I'm just in heaven. So they've really managed to capture the sort of feel of the world of Fallout, which I never thought would ever be able to do, because I feel like if you tried to do Fallout, it would just be post-apocalyptic. But somehow they've managed to capture the essence of what makes Fallout. So for me, it's been a brilliant ride, and I enjoyed Season 1, but this one, because there was no more hand-holding, they didn't have to tell you what things were. It was already laid down in Season 1. They just went for it, and it was brilliant. And obviously in New Vegas is my favorite game of the series. So being there, meeting Mr. House and going to the Lucky 38 was just like, oh my God, I haven't been here in years. So it's like putting on an old coat. You know, it just feels right, feels good, feels comfortable. And I really, really enjoyed myself with this season.
Marie, we have no idea what you think of this show, which is a change.
It was good, but I wouldn't say it was great. Because I'm approaching this from the perspective of a non-game player. I've seen actually a few playthroughs of Fallout New Vegas. That's the only playthrough I've ever seen, but that was been years ago, so I cannot remember anything about it. It's hard to describe. I think it still had the stench of Amazon Prime on it. Like, Amazon Prime just has such a certain way of producing shows, and it still hasn't been able to burst out of that, because I watched it in 3 days and I still thought it was very forgettable.
Oh dear. Dueling Deathclaws at dawn for Luke and Marie later. David, what did you think?
I'm somewhere in between the two, I think. I enjoyed it very much so. I felt like they took what worked from Season 1 and they trimmed back what didn't work in Season 1. They gave us more Walter Goggins this season than last, and that's always a positive. Like Luke, I played 3, New Vegas, and 4. So I also enjoyed a lot of the references that were coming. Although I couldn't remember a lot from New Vegas, the game. And I remember
I was the same.
I remember it being my favourite though.
Yeah, more reasons to go back and play it now.
It's weird. They need to remaster it.
Yeah, for me, overall, I really enjoyed it. Like you say, Walt Goggins is a star, and they were like, okay, let's just put him front and centre. They expand and introduce a hell of a lot more lore in the second series and lots more factions. So I enjoyed that from the games, like you guys said. Overall, I did really enjoy it, but I do have a couple of middling issues with it that I will get into later. But first of all, that brings us to, well, actually, before we get into the good, the bad, and the what the fuck moments, just a little brief breakdown of the factions, because there's so many, and it'll just help us remember. And then Luke can fill in all the ones I've forgotten and got wrong as well. So we have Vault-Tec, who are the company responsible for the start of the Great Wars. And of course, then we also introduce Mr. House's Roboco, played by Justin Theroux. You've got the NCR, the New California Republic, founded by the survivors of the war, and obviously Hank's attack on Shady Sands, and they come to the rescue against the Deathclaws in the finale, which is kind of a nice inversion of a scene you get in a Fallout 4 game near the start, which I liked. You've got the Brotherhood of Steel, obviously Maximus's storyline continues. You have the Enclave, which, again, depending on which wiki you read, are the remnants of the government and also kind of techie bad guys.
Yeah.
And then you got Kaiser's Legion, just a bunch of idiot bros. Have I missed anyone else out there, major? Obviously, the Volts.
Yeah, not who's been. Obviously, there are other factions like the Children of the Atom, but they haven't been announced in like season 1 or 2 yet. So yeah, we're missing them. Basically, the long and short of them is that they hang around radiated sites and like nuclear warheads that haven't gone off because they believe that the radiation will make them ascend. So it would be a fascinating way of doing it. But yeah, they haven't been shown yet. And I think there's the Institute, but again, that you haven't seen them yet. So there's a few other factions, but you've got most of them that's actually in the show so far. Right,
well then, on the good, the bad, and the what the fuck. Firstly, on the good, Dog Meat. He is the newest best boy, isn't he? What was that big fight scene going on? He just fucks off and leaves the call. It's like, no, I'm a dog. I do not care.
You don't really know where his loyalties lie, really. Like, sometimes he's with Lucy, sometimes he's with like the ghoul. He's just...
That's acting. That's good dog acting.
He's just pure.
We don't know which way he's going to go.
He's a real good boy. But I love the bit with the ghoul. Well, again, we're not going to spoilers yet, but the ghoul's in his sort of moment. He's like, get help. And the dog looks at him.
Feel free, mate.
Oh, when he's been skewered, he's on the post. He's like, get help. And the dog just grabs his hat and fucks off. He's like, you're no help. But he does go to get help. You know, he gets Maximus and all that.
Yeah, eventually. Okay, so that's one good, I think, is Maximus isn't annoying as fuck this season.
Oh, because he was barely in it.
No, but even when he wasn't annoying like he was in the first season. They kind of...
I liked his story in this one a lot more. I disliked the Brotherhood of Steel storyline that was there, but I liked Maximus's character and his development in this season a hell of a lot more than last season's. Like, I wasn't like, oh my god, get away, get off the Maximus scene like I was for the first season. Like, I actually cared.
I think with Maximus, because obviously the idea of Fallout, you got stats, so some people are really clever, good bit of speech, that sort of thing. I think with Maximus, his stats, like his intelligence is really low, but he's incredibly got high luck. Because everything he does, he just gets really lucky.
Fails upwards, doesn't he?
Yeah, or he just, in season 1, where he just happens to be where Lucy's getting attacked, or he's stuck and Lucy comes to find him or whatever. I'm like, that's really lucky. So his intelligence is not high, but he's got a high luck percentage. Because everything he does...
His charisma's pretty low as well.
Yeah, his charisma's quite low as well.
I completely forgot how violently I hated him until I looked back on our season 1 episode and I just remember, oh yeah, he really got under my skin.
I know he means well, but he's just annoying.
He was so annoying.
He wasn't as bad in season 2.
No, he was.
He'd gone through some shit, so he wasn't as like...
He was one of my more enjoyable characters in this, especially at the end. When he's like buddied up again with the new ghoul, whose character name I've forgotten.
I think he's really
Thaddeus.
Up,
yeah.
It's like I just want him to chill out because every motion, every time we see his face, it's like he's got that look. He's like every moment he's panicked. Like, I'm like, you just smile a bit, you know. You're in the wasteland, have fun. You got power armor, but the only time he smiles is when he sees Lucy or when he's with the guy from the Enclave, not the Enclave, from Washington.
Kumail Nanjiani's cameo.
When he's like hot dog and that, he's smiling. I'm like, yeah, like, okay, that is the Maximus I want to see. Somebody who lets loose, who smiles. You know, when he's saving the day, when he's in the NCR power armor, that's brilliant. I want to see more of that. But when he's just like miserable, I'm like,
You've just described Anthony Mackie as Captain America. Like, the dude's so charismatic, and when he's having fun, he's really good. But they don't let him have fun in the films. He's just like, I'm serious. I must be Captain America now. But no one doesn't want me. It's like, okay. And Maximus has kind of got that kind of thing going on. Like you say, when you paired him up with Kumail, those scenes were brilliant.
Yeah.
And yeah, he saved a bunch of mutant children from being murdered. So,
I
yeah,
think I
good
just
day
started
to
a war.
Maximus. And started a war, yeah.
I love Thaddeus. He's like, hey, bro, how you been? I'm all right. I think I just started a war. That's all right, bro.
When he lost his arm.
That flop, that's in my good. The flop sound that it made when the arm fell down. It was just brilliant comedic timing.
He's got that thing on. He's like, is that normal? And the ghoul's looking at him like, that's not normal. Because I think the ghoul knows. I think he knows because he's been around for 200 years. He knows what he's turning into. So he's looking at him like, you're not good. You're not all right, mate. And when the arm fell off, he just had that look of like, yeah, we know. I think it's going to be a centaur. Hopefully, because that'll be an interesting thing to see. They've got no arms, and they've just got bodies, tentacles out of their mouths, and all their hands are on their back legs. Yeah, they're weird. They look really bad, but hopefully he doesn't. Hopefully he mutates something else. But that would also be something funny because I think Thaddeus would see the bright side of it.
And good news for me, one of the biggest goods was we finally got full Deathclaw action.
Yeah, not enough of it, but we got it.
But the way they introduced them in Alaska was awesome. The Alaska flashbacks were just like in the shadows and just the sounds, and then just the fact that Cooper's laying there in his power armor fucked, and I was like, oh, this is so good. That's how you introduce like an absolutely horrific looking killer monster.
I got a bit confused at that point with where we are in the timeline. Where was that?
So that
the
was
bombs dropped at
pre-bombs.
that point.
No, that was before. That was
So that was before the bombs had dropped. But I thought they so I was under the impression that the Deathclaws only existed post bombs.
So did I, to be honest. But apparently the new law is that the Enclave are involved, and that they had sent the Deathclaws against the Chinese during the Operation Anchorage, which was in Canada. Or
Been to
Alaska,
Anchorage?
sorry. Anchorage. Oh yeah,
It's Alaska.
So it's Alaska. So it's part of that because obviously there was the last remaining bit of oil. I remember correctly. I think it was in Alaska, so they were fighting over it. I was surprised when I saw the Deathclaw, but I was like, it makes sense because the Enclave has always been around. They've always been like a very secretive group, so it makes sense that they would put a creature like the Deathclaws there. But that just means that the Deathclaws have always been around since then, and they've just been evolving, which I think is cool. But also at the same time, how do they control them? How do they stop them from not going into cities and killing people? Why did we not hear about attacks?
A big door. There was a big door, and they couldn't figure out how to smash it down.
No, they couldn't work out handles.
Obviously, don't have opposable thumbs. One other thing I really liked, I liked Hank's storyline with automating humans. I thought that was very because it's from the games as well. That kind of I remember I forget which game it is, but there's one of the games where you go in this vault and like the crazy overseer has just basically got everyone hooked up like that. And of course, this is done by Jonathan Nolan, right? So he's got form with robots and simps and from Westworld. So I am waiting for kind of more of that stuff to be pushed in it.
It was very similar to like Pluribus, like where you like the idea is like your entire free will is stripped from you, but you're still technically having a good life. Like there's that moral ambiguity around it, which I thought was very interesting.
But at the same stage, again, it's that thing of I was on the side of Lucy. I was like, you might be changing them for the best, but you're getting rid of who they are as a person. And when she asked him, like, she asked the NCR bloke, do you remember me? And he doesn't remember her at all. That just, for her, proved it the fact of, oh, actually, this isn't a good thing. It's not as good as my dad has lied to me and said it is. It's actually wrong because he's lost all his personality. He's lost who he is. He's just on autopilot of being a so-and-so good person. So is he actually alive or is he a husk?
And of course, you could see her almost considering it, can you, at one point? I mean, that made me laugh. It's that I'm sure Ella Pennell appreciated not being covered in a blood-spattered jumpsuit for at least 2 episodes of the season, although she only had 1 episode before she got covered in blood again.
But it was just a sprinkle this time.
That didn't make sense to me. I mean, it made me laugh, but the scene where she kills the lady head in the jar, I was like, you could just unplug her. You didn't have to, like, bash her to pieces with a wrench or something. I was like,
I did love
just
the
unplug
she
her.
freaks
That would
out.
kill her.
She's like, why is everybody asking me to kill them?
I mean, in that scenario, that was definitely the right thing to do. I think she hesitated a little bit too much because, like, come on, that is not life. Like, head in the jar.
Where did he get the head from? Has the head always been there? Or
I mean, it's the Congresswoman.
Well, yeah, that's I mean, did Hank unfreeze her and then chop her head off and then put her in, or has her head always been there? That was
that looked very like necrotic. I think the head was always there, powering everything.
I want to know where the feeding tube was going.
True.
She didn't have a stomach. She was just a head.
Yeah.
So where was the feeding tube going?
Was it a feeding tube or was it just a power?
Yeah,
There was
I
a
thought...
feeding. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure
it
it
was a
said
tube.
feeding tube on
Yeah.
it.
Oh, it
Yeah.
did say
really?
feeding. Oh, okay.
It's like what? Yeah, and also, who's he doing it for? Who's he talking to?
Well,
Someone
Mr.
in the Enclave.
the original theory was it was Mr. House, but it's not Mr.
No.
House, though. I think it might be the Enclave. I think because he had the Enclave. He had the Enclave Pit Boy, didn't he? Steph got from his keepsake. So obviously, sometime during the pre bombs dropping, Hank gets involved with the Enclave. But obviously, we'll probably see that in future seasons because obviously he's a sort of mentionable now, isn't he?
I do like how much they gave Carl McLaughlin to do though, because usually when he's in something these days, he's just a cameo and then he's dead or he's gone, and you're like, Carl McLaughlin, he's so good. I literally just saw Blue Velvet in the cinema for the first time a few weeks back, and I was like, this is insane. Like, Carl McLaughlin was the Chalamet of his day. You can see it. He was like the young guy who everyone was like, oh yeah, this kid's going to be awesome. And then he was, but it's weird how he's just kind of, I don't know, everyone, Carl McLaughlin's brilliant. That's all you need to say about it, really. Also, we had proper killer radroaches this time. Because you're like, oh, in the game, they're the first thing you encounter, aren't they? You're like, boom, you hit them with a wrench and it's easy. And then they absolutely fuck shit up in this one.
That one scene where they're just tearing the room apart. Like, where do they go?
That's what my question. Like, I literally put that in the bad because I was just like, I was gonna ask you guys, do they have like a hit limit? Like, they just disappeared.
I would assume they all killed each other because there was like a screwdriver or something in the head of one of them next to the love interest of Norm. So I just assumed they killed each other.
Yeah, there was like one radroach corpse in there, I think,
Yeah.
to like 5 or 6 human corpses or whatever.
I'm glad they
there
all
was.
died. Let's be honest. I will say that.
They weren't the
Apart from the
greatest.
one, but I'm glad they all died because Vault management Volties, fantastic idea, but they just annoyed me so much because they're just like, oh, what do we do? Oh, we'll just follow management. I'm like, the world's been nuked, don't have to follow. And they're like, oh no, we've still got
Rules are out the window, man.
Yeah.
But for them, the rules were in place last week. So
Yeah,
it's
Yeah,
that's
like,
yeah. It's like it was like yesterday. They were frozen, wasn't it? So if they wake up again, it's all going to be normal
Yeah.
for them. Yeah.
It's Bob's
Yeah, they got
Buds.
demolition mans.
Yeah, Buds or something like that. He's like, oh my god, you took my future away from me. I'm like, you wouldn't have had one because Bud wasn't going to unfreeze any of you.
One of my favourite things as well, I really enjoyed was, and I'm glad they gave her more screen time, Steph.
Yeah,
Psychotic Steph.
She's Canadian.
She's Canadian. Yeah. And I didn't realise, I Googled it. Her mum, that's her mum in a flashback, because I wasn't sure who the other lady was.
Yeah.
I was like, is it her partner? Is it her sister? Is it a... Oh, apparently it was her mum, according to research. But then I didn't realise it's the actress playing her is Natasha Henstridge from Species,
Wow.
which was like a little cameo. I was like, they could have done a little bit more with that. She was big back in the late 90s. Just showing my age.
the fact that she killed someone, fine. The fact
Yeah.
that she's Canadian, outrage.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
that
all,
is-
it's all right. Canadian, get out. But I love how they show how ruthless she is. It was like in season 1, she's cute, she got her eye, there's not much to her. The story mostly focused on Norm. Then season 2, the story went away from Norm, focused on Steph. And like she gets out of Uranium City, she escapes Canada, she kills the border guy, she kills the guy for beans. She works her way all the way up to the top. She finds Cooper Howard, lucky 38, and I'm like, this woman's been on a rampage. So like, I just love how you get to see her. It's like she's got a mission. What that mission is, I don't know, but she has a mission that's more than just get into a vault, get to safety. There's something going on with her, and I can't wait to see where they go. Especially how this season ends. There's more to her character, especially how she's potentially married now to Hank. It's like,
Right?
oh, what does that mean?
They were married before freezing, but
Yeah.
since Hank is now a lot more older than Steph, like, she got defrosted a lot later than he did.
So was it just really awkward then when she moved into the same vault after
Yeah.
It must have been because she also came from 31, so she moved in with a marriage. So she was already like, she defrosted, married this guy who she was not very keen on the first place, and then, oh yeah, there's your husband.
How many 31ers were there in 33 at the beginning of season 1? Is what I'm,
No.
because I can't remember if anyone came from 32.
No, I think
I mean,
Because 32 got killed off, didn't they?
Yeah.
They all got.
in the beginning, like, Lucy's mom came from 32.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah, but
Because
anyone...
otherwise that would have been incestuous.
Well,
Like-
Cousin stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's a whole storyline in this season where they were just having
Oh,
like, people that
This is one of my goods.
It's
I
same,
loved
it.
same.
I loved the incest support. What was it? The incest support
No,
group, was it?
inbred.
Yeah.
It's the
Inbred
inbred.
support.
Inbred.
In the inbred
you
support
know,
It's
group.
there's
the
two
same
couples
thing.
that obviously wanted to sleep with each other, but then when they found out it wasn't for that, they were like, oh, well, let's just leave. We're going to go do some cousin stuff.
I want to know how they casted everyone that was in that group. We're having a casting call. Okay, who looks inbred? It looks like they could potentially be inbred here.
Well, I would imagine that's how vaults work, really. Like, if you've been in a vault for 200 plus years, you're going to be marrying and, your cousin and so on and so forth.
Just the casting call. Just like the thought of it.
And what did we learn? Do not fuck with their snack budget.
No,
Yeah.
I mean that is a vital lesson to learn in anyone. Like,
Any
He's like,
walk
my
of
group's
life.
going well.
Yeah.
It's only going well because you've got water and food. Well, so
it's so ridiculous.
lovely.
Yeah, the
Oh.
musical number. It's just so insane because obviously, like, also like I mean, you get Betty's point. I mean, dude, we're running out of water, and then you're like spilling it all over the place. These guys are just throwing like a snack party. Like, just stop giving him food. Like, I just don't understand.
I
like-
generally thought Betty was going to kill him. Like, she kept giving him the look. I thought in a moment he's going to end up disappeared, and Betty's going to be like, "Well, that's sorted with," and he's like in the trash compactor or something. Because she has that look of like she could kill.
What happened to Dylan from Severance?
Yeah.
he had to
what's
go
his
back
name?
to Severance.
Willie?
He's-
That dude
He's
loves
down
a
the
corridor.
He's down the sink, isn't he? We saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Woody. That was his name, Woody.
No, it's Dylan. Always Dylan.
So,
Yeah, mentioning there, actually, you mentioned about the music. I thought the old school needle drops were so good.
they're straight out the video game.
Straight out of video games, but also perfectly layered. Like, again, I'm not going to dive into all the lyrics on these ones because there was so many songs. But again, the lyrics sync up perfectly to the scene they are placed in. So it's better than just someone going, oh yeah, give me a list of 50 songs, or just give me the list from the game and we'll stick them in. No, there's actually thought has gone into where they're using the songs for the best. So I really enjoyed that.
The very beginning, first episode, we had the Ghoul and Lucy, and then she cuts him loose, and you get Big Iron just starts playing, and I'm like, yeah, that's Fallout New Vegas, Big Iron. I was like, there's it. I love it.
Well, that was one of my favourite bits later on is when the Ghoul and Maximus meet up and he reveals the power armor and you get the menu loading music from Fallout 4, which you
Yeah.
hear so many times whenever you turn the game on. And it's that everyone's just like, yes. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. One other thing we talk about briefly here and then again later, they introduced super mutants. And it was voiced by Ron Perlman. And of course, if you played the games, you know it was going to be a super mutant beforehand because you had the bag hanging up there. And like those bags in the games contain lots of, well, blood and bones, basically.
Sometimes caps.
Sometimes and caps. Yeah, obviously caps. Yeah.
I was a big fan of the Shady Side nuking scene where, just where his dad's there just trying to fix it. And then you just hear the little, or like then the timer goes and it's just like, fuck! Everyone legs it.
Well, they also copied from Indiana Jones again, where like he puts him in the
Nuke the
freezer.
fridge.
That does not work, guys. Mythbusters tested it.
One other thing I got to laugh at, Macaulay Culkin's come back as now
Kaiser!
Kaiser.
Christ.
Dude, every time I watched them, I was just like, it's pronounced Caesar, you fucking idiots. Like,
I know.
That's what made it funny. Kaiser's
God.
Palace. They went to Kaiser's Palace.
and just the fact that they're a bunch of bros who've got Roman armor on, or a little bit of it, and just have no fucking idea what they're doing. It was so funny. That was new actually this season, because when I introduced a faction, it would tell you the name of the faction on the screen. I was like, they should have done that in season 1. And they should have done it maybe a little bit. I didn't notice it in season. I'm absolutely gonna believe that Marie's completely right here because yeah.
I mean, they did
I forget
maybe
those.
didn't do in faction. They did maybe because of characters. They did it with characters, so maybe yeah.
It was like NCR, then it was like Brotherhood. I was like, oh great, then we know, and it made it a little bit easier to follow.
It feels like season 2 was mostly for fans of the games. That's what it felt like to me. It felt it felt like it was speaking more to me. And it wasn't until after the season ended that I looked back and I thought, oh, there's going to be things here that people, normies who haven't played the games, are going to be a bit confused on, or going to be a bit lost, or going to have a lot more questions about, because again, they haven't played the games. Even though it's well done and it can be enjoyed without playing the games, it definitely felt like it was more for us, people who were fans of the games, than it was for people who have only watched season one.
Right. What else have you guys got on the good?
Well, Thaddeus, when he's get the child labour, that was great. It sounds a weird thing to say, but that was funny. And
I like
it.
Big fan of child labour.
Yeah, big fan of child labour, especially when and then it makes me laugh when like Maximus is fighting all the death claws, and all the people of the strip are inside putting bets on. And Thaddeus comes and goes, 500 caps. He goes, you don't have 500 caps. And he just opens up money, just pulls straight out of his leg. He's like, I used to make money for a living. And I'm like, oh, you did, but it was child labor. But so I love that callback. So that was a good for me.
He's due a lot of caps now as well.
He is.
Right.
I hope he cashes that in.
Although they may have said because they bet that he would solo defeat them, and then the NCR came in, they might be shady like that. But the bet doesn't count.
I like the bit with the snake oil salesman, where like he has his little moment at the beginning of one episode where he's running around happy. He's fighting a radroach, and then he meets Fisto, and he's going to have like a sort of sexual moment. And Hank comes up and he goes, "Oh, if you're going to be a pervert, do normal pervert things and sit in a bush." And he turns him normal. I was like, I just love that. God, yeah, there was a lot of fan service for me. I was just like, I love it. I just think it's great.
Yeah, I like that they leaned a lot more into like the zaniness and the wackiness of the world. That was very much missing in season one. I also liked just the throwaway gags. Like, for example, the alien in Area 51. I fucking loved that joke. It was brilliant. Where they were like, oh my God, it's cold. And they just like throw the alien away. And it was brilliant. And like also like Luke just said, that sequence with the snake oil salesman, just like him just randomly being attacked by a roach and back again. It's just like that juxtaposition that's like worked really well.
Because that's what it's like playing Fallout. You're walking down, you listen to the radio, life is great. You get attacked by a rat roach or a ghoul, you kill it, and then you're like, back on with the journey,
Yeah, and I understand that from the playthroughs I've watched. So like that was really missing in season one for me. So I'm really happy that they brought that in. I think they could have again leaned into it a bit more, and they could have gone a bit more wacky with it. Like for example, Lucy being addicted to drugs. They could have leaned in way more into that. They could have that could have been something like that why can't I talk? Subplot was dropped really quickly, and I think that could have been a bit more wacky, a bit more zany.
To be fair, in the game, when you take all the different stimulants to like buff you up for a fight, you can get addicted to them. So you have to go and find the anti-drug. What's it called? The Med-X, is it, or something like that?
Adderall. I think it's Adderall. I think you've got to take it on that. So she gets them and she's like, "Oh, I feel fine."
I forgot that subplot, actually.
That's funny.
That would have been in my bad, that subplot. That weren't a great one for me, yeah.
No, Ghoul Elvises, when she kills all the Elvis ghouls, that was great. And she's high on drugs. And like the ghouls just looking at her like, I'm going to help her, but she's obviously loving life. That was great. She had a slow-mo effect like that. So that was brilliant. I'm just remembering things, because again, I watched it. I didn't binge it. I watched it as it came out. So I'm just getting reawakened of certain moments.
Right, well, this sadly does bring us on to the bad, and I have got a big one for me that affected my overall enjoyment of the show as a whole, and that is there was simply too many characters and factions that weren't balanced enough. Sometimes I felt there was too much focus on plot as well over character development. So I use this. We didn't actually review it on the pod, but when we was talking offline about Stranger Things finale, anything where it was character moments, I was like, oh yeah, I enjoy this. When it was, we need to go from A to B to do to C, and I just zoned out. And it was a lot of that. And Fallout sadly had a lot of that as well. I was like, I want the character moments. I want the funny stuff. I want the zaniness. I don't want seeing, and this is just a problem with a lot of TV overall these days. You have to explain everything to the audiences because they're not watching it properly. They're on their phones. And I, to be honest, even though I wasn't looking at my phones, I still had trouble following it in places because, like, what's that guy doing? I knew who all the factions were. Nothing's really happening here. Like you, and the perfect example there, which we briefly mentioned earlier, is Norm's storyline. It's the Indiana Jones thing. They came out of the thing. They all got killed. He grabbed his soon-to-be missus, hopefully for him, put her in a wheelbarrow and said, right, I'll take you back. Nothing happened. Like, all he did was just take him, get a bunch of people killed.
That was
That's
a big
really
bad
it.
for me as well.
Yeah.
You know, because, like, I love Norm in season 1. I thought he's fascinating. And then the first few episodes of this one was like, oh my God, like, okay, you know, Bud's there. He's like, come on, you know, you're running out of food. You've ate everybody's food. Go on, let me put you in a cryo and you'll be all right. He doesn't. And he wakes everybody up and I think, okay, this is going to be interesting. It's going to be great. You've got Volties on the surface. But then it goes nowhere. You know, he literally goes to Vault Tech, finds a computer. They realize he's lying. He gets knocked out. They all die. And then he's like, and then he tries to call his dad. And he doesn't get to him. He doesn't get to anybody. And then he's like, all right, we're going now. I'm like, what was the point of that? The only thing that came out of that was that we learned about the FEV, the Forced Evolutionary Virus, which is the virus that makes the super mutants and the ghouls, which is brilliant. But then if that's all you're gonna if that's all you're gonna use Norm for, what's the point?
But also, like, I mean, that meant more to you because you played the game. But for me, that was like,
nothing.
What does that mean? And like to Norm, that doesn't mean anything. And like what bugged me is that they just pulled the cable out of the computer. He could have just gone back to the computer, plugged in the cable, and found out what was gonna happen. Like the roach threat was taking care of that point. So I was just like, yeah, maybe your lady love is bleeding out, but like your entire vault is in danger. Could you just swing back to the computer and check, okay, what was this about again? Because he still doesn't know. He knows something bad is gonna happen, but he doesn't know the context of it and how to stop it, which probably would have been in those files.
Well, actually, you're mentioning the Forced Evolutionary Virus thing. Even I, who have played the games, I was like, right, that, and to me, it's like, right, that's how they make the super mutants. And then they introduced the super mutants, but again, the scene was pointless. Like, it introduced them and then did nothing with them. If you're going to introduce such a big character, I mean, they're one of the main kind of bad guys you run into in the games. But then also, you occasionally bump into ones that aren't bad guys, and you have conversations with them, and there's really interesting storylines and plots and backstory to it all. And this one was voiced by, of all people, Hellboy himself, Ron Perlman. But I'm just watching the scene going, what was the scene? The scene was literally him rescuing Cooper, saying, we need your help, and Cooper going, nah, and then leaving. And then he's not mentioned again. Admittedly, I know why. My guess is they're holding up. They wanted to introduce him, but they're holding off because it's going to cost a fuck ton of money to do the super mutants. Because essentially, they're just like a lot of Incredible Hulks. So imagine having like, oh, we need about 12 Incredible Hulks on screen. Oh, good one. Yeah, Jeff, can we have some more money, please?
Well, I can't believe we've only seen literally two super mutants in 2 seasons. There was one in season 1, but you only saw the arm. And then you saw a little bit of his face in season 2. So you are right, it's going to be expensive. But if Cooper's on his way to Colorado, I would imagine we're going to see them. Because that's where the Enclave is. So I imagine there'll be mutants there. But yeah, I can't believe that we haven't seen enough super mutants at this moment.
Is it going to be more expensive than the Deathclaws, though?
Possibly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The super mutants are basically like
Hulk.
Well, and also they're basically like the Incredible Hulk. Essentially, they're loud. They have small brains mostly in the games, and they destroy lots of stuff. And it's bloody as fuck in the games. So that was almost a weird thing there, introducing a smarter super mutant off the get go. I was like, oh, but people who don't know what super mutant is going to be like, oh, it's this big green Incredible Hulk looking dude who talks.
It was somewhat cool because it set up this idea of there's a coming war between humans and the mutants, and like he wants the super mutants and ghouls to work together, which again I love. I think that's cool, and I feel like that's going to be important for Cooper later on, where he has to choose between potentially his wife and his daughter, but at the same stage working with Ron Perlman and the other sort of mutated. So it should be interesting. But again, you are right. It's very much the fact of he saves him. We see a bit of him. And it's like, okay, well, I'm going to have to knock you out because you're not allowed to know where I am. Bye-bye. And then you're back with Maximus and Thaddeus. I'm like, okay, that's cool. But don't tease me with a good time, but then don't give me a good time. You know what I mean?
And also the ending with Cooper's storyline this season when he goes to the and finds the pods for his wife and child, and they're not there, and they've gone to Colorado.
Yeah, she's
Sorry?
like, your princess is in another castle. She's pulled a Mario on him. Right? And like, she was already there, so why not do something out, you know?
But not just that, he's happy about it. 'Cause he's like, and he's like, someone says, why are you happy? He's like, because I know that they're alive. And I was like, you don't. Like,
Yeah, I thought that as well. Like they could have woken up like
we don't know when they woke
120
up.
years ago or whatever, you know, or been. You don't know anything about it. Like, yeah.
What I read from that is that there's a flashback we're not seeing.
Oh, that's 100%.
That like there's like because his wife is really smart and like there is like that card means more to him than it means to us. Like he has a bit more information than we do.
I like that he checked her pod as well, but he didn't check the daughter's pod. There could have been
Yeah,
a
we only
map.
saw the one.
There could have been a full map on the floor in the
It
daughter's
was
pod.
all the
He
way
didn't
up
bother looking.
there. You had to
Yeah.
just read.
You are right. It's like many things are like, we don't know how long ago she actually left that vault. So again, it could have been 120 years ago. She could be dead now. No, I was going to say, what makes no sense to me is that at the beginning of season 1, it is hinted or mentioned that Coop is divorced from his wife. But at the end of this one, in the flashback sequence, he gets arrested, but they're still together in this forever together. So it's the fact of, like Marie said, there is a flashback, which I'm sure we'll probably see next season, where something goes wrong and they break up because we don't really know how. Again, how is it that Cooper was able to get his daughter on the back of a horse when the bombs are being dropped to safety, as we assume, but he wasn't put into a cryopod or kept safety, and he stayed out and got ghoulified, but they didn't. So that's always bothered me since season 1, and I was really hoping in season 2 we'd get an answer to that. Of like, hold on, how is it that he doesn't know where his wife and his child is, but he was the last one, as far as we've seen, to see his daughter?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe I've just put a plot hole, but like that's been bothering me since season 1. So I was hoping we get an answer to it, and maybe we will season 3. But I was just like, haha, she's in another castle. I'm like, oh.
I mean, I also, one thing in the finale, I thought the death claws went down way too easy.
Yes.
Why did they only attack him one at a time? Like, if they rushed him, he was dead. Like, no, like, but they come one after another. And like, the second they break through the doors, it should have just been carnage. Should have been like that episode of The Last of Us when they just burst through into the town and destroyed everyone. And in this one, they're like, one, right? It was almost like they were like waiting for their chance to go one-on-one with him. You're like, no,
But
swarm him
case,
and
like,
murder Maximus.
Like,
no,
no, in the game you get swarmed. Like, there's loads of
you get swarmed. Oh, okay.
The thing is, what bothers me with these death claws, these death claws are the Fallout 4 death claws, which basically means if you ever played Fallout 3 in New Vegas, their death claws are dangerous. They're really scary. Like, you don't want to kill them until like the end of the game. Whereas in Fallout 4, you kill them instantly, you know what I mean, and they die really easily. And that's what it reminded me of, is the fact that they look cool, but they just die in too quickly. It needs to be more brutal. It needs to be more of like.
It needs to be more like It needs to be more like the xenomorph. Like, holy shit! When you see it, like everyone's going to die.
This is like the worst thing that in the wasteland. Not, oh god, we've got loads of them, but I've got power armor. It's okay. Like, I know the suit was designed to imagine to take on death claws. That's why it's got the knives on the arms. But I don't know. It was just too easy. I did like the bit where Maximus goes, weapons, ooh, and then you've got the cannons. That's cool, but still, they.
But that's what I mean. An actual competent soldier would have done better. So, like, you've got them taking on an incompetent soldier one at a time, and he's just barely getting by.
I feel like you're doing him dirty there.
His luck is incredibly high. He's got really good luck.
He maxed out his luck stat, man, on the game. Nothing else. Charisma, no. Strength, no. Intelligence, no. Luck. I almost want them to.
I enjoyed that fighting scene, man. That was in my what the fuck. That whole section. I liked it. One of my biggest bads is pretty much anything to do with Dane in the Brotherhood of Steel.
Yeah.
Their character was just completely like, it's just almost pointless. They need a bigger storyline.
They need a storyline.
They need a storyline, yeah. Because, and I'm hoping it's going to be teased at the end, like the very end after credit scene of the finale. There's like a teasing that there's going to be more happening there. So hopefully that comes there.
I think you're right there, because I think a lot of this season was set up, and I think they're just there to remind us of the character, so that when they have a bigger role in season 3, it's not going to be like out of the blue, and we're like, oh, who's this person again?
I mean, if you look at the Brotherhood of Steel, there's what's the old fella who's in charge? I forgot his name. Old Knobhead. I'm gonna call
Basically.
him. So you've got Old Knobhead and Dane. You couldn't name any of the other. There are no other characters in a Brotherhood of Steel. It's just them two.
What, is
Also-
it Quintus?
Quintus, yeah.
Quintus.
Yeah.
Also,
Quintus
what makes no
Knobhead,
sense
yes.
is the fact of they're currently at war with each other, and he's thinking, "Don't worry about that. We're going to build a Liberty Prime, a giant robot." But where are you getting the resources?
Where?
You're fighting each other. You know, if
Michael
you survive
Bay.
the war, lucky. But you know,
Fingers crossed. The post-credit scene was a bit of a letdown for me because I saw the titles were going up. I was like, oh, there's 4.5 minutes left. There's going to be another scene. So I let the credits play. And then we get the post-credit scene. I was like, yes, what's it going to be? It's going to be something cool. And I was like, oh, it's another suit of armor or a big robot.
Yeah.
I didn't, because what game is that in? Because I don't remember coming across it.
Liberty Prime was in Fallout 3 and Fallout 4. He gets destroyed in 3, and he gets rebuilt in 4. But this is like alpha, so this is like meant to be a better potentially, which is cool. Don't get me wrong. I like you. Don't get me wrong. The end credits I thought was really cool, and I want to see Liberty Prime in action because again, that's going to be a huge CGI thing because he's huge. He's big as a tower block. But for me, I would have preferred to see Phase 2 of the Enclave go into effect, even if it was in the Evolt, where it's like, oh, you see green mist come out the vents, and then all people start choking, can't breathe, and Steph's there like, I survived. I don't know, or like
Because she's Canadian.
Yeah, the Enclave coming in and landing at the step of the Vault 33 vault, and then it ends, or something like that. You know, just something like
something like that, or like that's where you put the super mutant scene. That's where you introduce the super mutant scene. One bad I know absolutely that Marie's going to agree with. Lucy and Maximus just bump into each other at the end as well there. And they're like, oh, let's hold hands because and you're like, no, you two are terrible together. You're the worst couple on screen ever.
Yeah, she has a really cute moment with her dad and, you know, everything's happened with him. And then all of a sudden she's like, Maximus? Lucy? Forget about that. How are you?
Her dad is now like a zombie version just sitting on that step. Like
Yeah,
what?
I was thinking, is he still on the step when they're upstairs and they're looking out? Is he still on the step just sitting there? She left him? I really hope they do something with his character. Yeah, I really hope they do. I know what he's not completely there anymore because the chip in his neck, but I hope they do something with Hank or have a way of reversing it or something like that because I want his character back because I loved his dynamic.
You can't just, unless you give him another really cool character. It's Carl McLaughlin. He can do what he wants. To be fair.
True.
Got any more bads, Marie?
Yes, time and distance made no sense. It takes 3 days to walk from Area 51 to Las Vegas. I think they did it in like 30 minutes. Like, it's like, and same walking across California. They just, like, the Legion got to Vegas like way too fast. It was just them, like, yeah, you couldn't, I think season 1 did this better where you could like sense like time escaping, but this was like final season of Game of Thrones all over again where people were just teleporting out of the blue. I mean, I know from Jose, America is quite big. You can't just walk across it in half an hour, especially California and Nevada. So yeah, that kind of drove me a little bit crazy.
You could say like you could say the in-law thing of like they teleported from one location next using the pit boy maybe. For me, a bad one is Macaulay Culkin. Not him specifically, but I feel like they've wasted Macaulay. Like, for example, it's great that he's in the Legion. When we first see him, he slits somebody's throat, and then he takes a mask off, and then he doesn't really do anything. And then they have their little war, and then we see nothing of him until the final episode. And then he gets the body, pulling it. It says, "I am the only Caesar. The Legion ends with me," which again is pretty cool, and I'm close to the character in New Vegas. But then all he does is goes, "Well, he eats it, puts the crown on, kills the guy because he sees him do it, and that's it." And I'm like, I understand that they want to use him more potentially in season 3 for this big war that's coming, but at the same stage, it's like, but that's such a waste of Macaulay Culkin. They could have already had him as just the new, I was going to say Kaiser, but no, have the new Caesar. You know, I mean, they could have had him as the new Caesar, and that could have been it, and that could have been cool. You could have a cool dynamic between him and Lucy, and then she escapes because the Ghoul takes her away. Instead of just having this warring faction, I feel like that warring bit was a bit sort of like it's cool, but
Yeah,
I don't care.
they also made such a big hoo-ha online for him being cast, and then like the episode ended, and I was just like, wait, that's it? Like,
He was probably in what? He probably filmed for about a month, if that, a couple of weeks tops.
like, I mean, less, like, yeah, like, he barely has like any screen time, and like, I still remember, like, we talked about it because at length in the group chat, because we're like, yeah, he definitely fits into the Fallout world. So it was like all this excitement, and he got like one scene, and it's like, okay, bye. And this is like what I mean, like, a lot of season 2 is set up, and if they
Yeah.
deliver on the setup, then I won't be that mad. But if they like set all this up and then don't deliver it, then I will be annoyed.
You've got the NCI and you've got the Legion. They're all coming to take the strip on, which is great. But where does that leave Lucy and Maximus? Does Maximus stay with the NCR now that he sees they're doing good, so he wants to stay with them? Or does Lucy go, well, I'm not interested, it's got nothing to do with me, so I'm going to go? Or they're going to work for Mr. House? Like,
here's the problem. You've just
Yeah.
summed up the biggest problem with the series overall.
Yeah.
Is no one has a interesting storyline.
Yeah, Lucy's
Of the main
storyline is
characters.
done.
Yeah, apart
Like-
from the ghoul. Yeah, the ghoul's the only one.
The ghoul,
apart from
yeah.
the ghoul, exactly. But yeah, Lucy's storyline.
He's
is
the
done.
only character who you're like, right, I need to find my wife and my daughter. Okay, cool. And that's the plot line straight out of the game. Like,
Yeah.
I think that's it. Fallout 4. I did like how they kind of inverted it, because at the start of Fallout 4 is you, your wife, and your kid go into the chamber, and then you get woken up and you see them taking your wife and kid out, and I think they kill the wife, don't they?
Yeah.
In front of him,
They
and
kill
you're
the
still
love interest,
frozen.
yeah.
Kill the love interest, take the kid, and then your mission is tracking down and finding your kid,
Which you never do
in
because
the
you spend
game.
more time doing quests.
which is fun, more fun.
Yeah.
That was a funny line, because like Lucy did make a comment. She's like, I'm so like sick of these like side quests, and you're like, okay, yeah, that was funny.
But that's the problem, and I think that's the thing they haven't got right, is there's no overarching narrative that's driving towards a thing. You've got this battle, like you said, that, again, you could miss that. You go, oh yeah, there's going to be a big battle. Why? Is it just because all the different factions have to fight each other? You don't get a sense that anyone's really in control of anything everywhere. It all seems really small and localized.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, is season 3 just going to be you've got Lucy and Maximus's adventure in New Vegas, and there's a big battle, or is a big battle going to be 2 episodes, or even 1 episode, and then it's going to be over? And then what? You know, it doesn't
What's
leave
the
me with
overall
going, I know
goal
where
of
they're
the
going.
show? Like I
Yeah.
agree with
I
Neil.
know where
Like,
I
where
know
is
where
this
Cooper's going.
heading? Like,
Yeah.
like for the audience at least, there's like still some mysteries that haven't been answered, but that's like all in the past. So like, where's the future narrative heading? Like, what is the end goal?
That's my single biggest problem with the show, is that there's no overarching arc for the whole show. I have literally no idea where this show is going to end up.
No. And that's what I mean. They promised Liberty Prime, but then what's that going to be? When's it going to be? Why are they going to use it? You know, it's like, that's cool. I want to see Liberty Prime.
You know what we
but-
need, Luke? We need to introduce the Simps. We need
Yeah.
to introduce the Railroad.
Yeah.
Nick Valentine is basically a robot film noir private eye who gives you side quests, and he is awesome. He's such a good character. And again, that leans more into the wackiness side of it. I do feel they have a problem, because it is the wacky side quests that make the game, that makes the sandbox that you're playing in so fun. And if you're trying to put a big overall narrative on that, it's not going to work. So I don't know. To be honest, usually when we're like ripping apart a show, we're like, well, they should be doing this. This should be obvious. Fallout, I haven't got a clue how you get to the end point, because I don't even know what the end point would look like. I was about to say we should get to the what the fucks, but I think I've gone through them all in other sections.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that was, to be honest, like my biggest what the fuck is that for Fallout for this season, there wasn't a big what the fuck. Like, there wasn't a moment that just went like that when I went like, oh, that is a revelation. Like, the only one was that him and his wife were more aligned than we thought, because like we thought like she threatened to drop the bombs and that led to them being separated. Now it looks like they had like an alternate agenda and were actually a team.
Yeah.
But that was the only big revelation that came out of the season.
I jotted some down, like there were little, but they're not like what I call massive moments. Like I mentioned earlier, the music sting from Fallout 4's menu when the ghoul reveals the power arm to Maximus. That was a moment where I was like, doing the Leo gif, like And then when the Steph reveal, I thought that was really cool. And when she contacted the Enclave, and I was like, I literally wrote in capitals at the time on my notes. I was like, "What's phase 2?" And of course, and then there's a line that Hank says, "The wasteland was the experiment."
That's true.
That's big.
That is true.
Yeah.
But that was
That's
so
a big one.
noteworthy that I watched that. I watched that episode literally yesterday, and I already forgot about it until you brought that up.
To be honest, my biggest what the fuck the thing I remember. I know it sounds silly. It's a small thing, but I love the Vault Tech stuff because we all, if you play the games, you know how
Production design, do you mean, in the visuals?
The production design, but also there's a little bit where Coop's wife, she's in a meeting and she's talking to different scientists about the vaults and how they're going to be. And I love the one line where the scientist goes, "Yeah, there's about 13 or so percent or 30% chance our water chips are going to fail, but don't worry, we know which ones are going to fail, so we get to choose." And that really adds to the lore of Fallout because a lot of them do have water chips that do fail. Again, like 31 or 32 or 33 even, their water chips failing. You know what I mean? So somebody had the choice of, we know what one's going to fail, so we're going to choose which vaults are going to get that. So in lore-wise, I love that. So I want to see more pre-war Vault Tech stuff because we know they're evil and we know that the Enclave have got the fingers in the pie. But again, I want to see, like we said earlier, that the wasteland was the experiment. Okay, but I want to see that expanded upon. So it's not really what the fuck. It's just more just the fact of, you are right, we didn't get the big what the fuck, but we got little bits of, oh shit, oh cool, that's cool, oh, little bombs, not big bombs, just little bombs.
And I think that's what we've been saying with the overall issue. Like, the flashback stuff is more interesting than like the current stuff. Like, all the lore, that's interesting. What's happening on the surface in the current timeline, it's fun, but it's not, as we said, it's not really leading anywhere.
I mean, in comparison, when we did season 1, I always mentioned that Fallout was like the fun version of Silo if they actually got out of the fucking silo. But weirdly, with Silo season 2, where they take that show, I haven't watched it since it aired last year, but I can remember more about Silo than I can about Fallout, and where they're going to potentially take Silo season 3, and they've done season 3 and 4 back to back. They filmed them, and I'm just like, I can't wait to see that. And they're kind of doing some similar things as Fallout, but without the wackiness and the zaniness. But then they do have Rebecca Ferguson, so again,
yeah. I think the upside with this show immediately is the fact of they managed to do them so quickly. So it's like, I think they filmed certain things during this season for season 3, so they've already got some things in the bag. Also, I've heard in interviews, and obviously, the last season came out in 2024. This one came out Christmas 2025. So fingers crossed, we might get the next season this year. And if they do, so at least it's not a long wait like Game of Thrones that you waited like 2-3 years for a season.
And that's what you kind of need to maintain a momentum on these kind of shows as well. If people go, oh, it's next year, oh great, brilliant, then it keeps people watching, doesn't it?
But at the same time, like, one of the reasons I could wait until all the show was out and binge it in the last 3 days is that I saw nothing about it online. Like, that,
yeah, same.
Like,
not a lot of chatter.
Yeah, exactly. I remember just asking you guys, like, hey, has Fallout even started yet? Because I think it did, but I'm seeing nothing. Like,
well, I remember seeing some spoilers, but I wouldn't class them as spoilers because they were just scenes, and without context, you're like, oh, that's cool, that's just Fallout, But then what I mean, like certain shows, you're like, oh my god, that's amazing, that's spoiler, I don't want to see that. Whereas with Fallout, it's like,
it's not a very
cool.
spoiler-heavy show, is it? There's not really. It's not that kind of show because, like you say, there's no big what the fuck moments. It's all just fan service and expanding on lore. So you're like, oh, that's really cool. I like that. It looks amazing. Where's it all going?
For the longevity of it has me worried.
You're like Mr. House. I'm glad we got to see Mr. House, but like I wasn't surprised when we got to actually see him on the screen. My dad was. My dad was like, oh my god, that's that guy. And I was like, oh yeah, I know. I've spoke to him in Fallout New Vegas. Like, I've met him. I know who he is. It's I don't know. For me, it's like it's cool, but like
he was in The Leftovers as well.
Yeah, I don't feel impressed.
We've kind of ended it on a downer.
Oh no, yeah, I love it. I do. It's great as a fan, but yeah.
I think that's the thing, isn't it? Because we're fans of the game, me and Luke at least, because we've played it loads, you give it a bit more of a pass.
Yeah.
But also, you're a bit more critical on it if you're a fan of it, because you're like, where is it going? what are you doing with the story? It's cool having all these little bits, but it needs to go somewhere because narratively it just doesn't grab you, just doesn't drag you in. Right, so I believe that's all the time we have on this week's episode of the We Needed Roads podcast. Marie, where can people find you on the socials?
You can find me under the handle Life on Mars. That is Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. And yes, I am still restricted on TikTok for violating community guidelines, but at this point they're violating their own community guidelines because they aren't allowed to restrict my account for this long because I did nothing wrong. But yeah.
Luke, where can people find you not banned on the internet?
That's a good question. So you can find me on Instagram. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on TikTok. Just type in the Howdy Beans podcast and you can find me there. I have not been banned yet, but I am sure if I keep being honest, they'll ban me. Because they don't like honesty, apparently, Marie. And yeah, you can find the Howdy Beans podcast on Spotify, Apple, and YouTube, and all sort of podcasting platforms.
And if you want more We Needed Roads nonsense, you can find us, well, everywhere. We're on Twitter at Needed Roads, we're on Instagram at We Needed Roads, and we're on TikTok at We Needed Roads Podcast. And you can follow me personally at Neil_Gregory78 on Instagram and Threads. Do you know what, Threads? I'm going to stump for Threads again, man. I get more interaction on Threads than anywhere else at the minute. This past month, I had 30,000 views and a couple of semi-viral posts. I did the Agnes post. I said, great year if your name's Agnes in cinema. And that just flew. I mean, I stole it. Someone else had already mentioned it on another social. But I hadn't seen it on Threads. So I posted it and it did very, very well. So, yes. Go on Threads, people. Also, We Needed Roads is available on all major podcast platforms. We'd love it if you subscribe to us on YouTube and gave us a follow on Spotify, where you can see the full video episodes as well as hear us. So, remember, follow, rate, review, eat your sugar bombs, and wash it down with a lukewarm Nuka-Cola. All the good stuff. We've been We Needed Roads, and don't forget to take your radaway when venturing out from your vaults.
We Needed Roads.